scroll of the silent obelisks, the towers that drink the sky from the hidden geometry of the solar grid. They were never monuments, never symbols of pride or kingship. The obelisks were machines, antennas of divine architecture built to harvest, harmonize, and transmit the breath of the sun itself. And when you stand before one in silence, you can still hear them hum. The architecture of breath. Every obelisk on Earth, from Luxor to Axum to Rome, follows the same impossible proportion, a ratio aligned not to aesthetics, but to frequency. Each was carved to capture solar resonance, converting sunlight into vibrational current that coursed through invisible channels beneath the temples. Modern researchers discovered traces of piezoelectric quartz within their granite cores, the same crystal used in radios and clocks. They were receivers of cosmic timing, not decorations. The hieroglyph for obelisk, Tekhinu, translates not to pillar, but piercer of heaven. It was the interface between the sun and the earth, the masculine spark that kept Maat's balance alive. The solar grid. The ancients knew the planet had a pulse, a network of electromagnetic currents connecting sacred sites across continents. Each obelisk was positioned precisely on those nodes, forming what the old initiates called the breath of Ra. The network was once global, from Kemet to Ethiopia, from Mexico to Angkor. When the obelisks sang together, they stabilized the weather, magnetosphere, and human consciousness. They kept the veil thin. When the colonizers severed them from their foundations and carried them away, the harmony broke. The climate began to wobble. The song fell silent. The twin obelisks of the dawn. Beneath the sands near Aswan lie two fractured spires, one known, one not. The second, buried deeper, is engraved with glyphs that translate to, "We drank the sun to remember our stars." The twin obelisks once acted as solar batteries, converting resonance into frequency fields that charged temples and even the bodies of priests, enhancing dream work and healing. This is why the ancient word for energy, Sa, meant both life force and sound. The obelisks were singing towers, literal instruments of creation. The day the towers fell silent. According to the scrolls of Heliopolis, there was one night when the sun did not rise, when the obelisks screamed in harmonics so high they shattered glass across temples. The priests wrote, "The towers thirsted and found no light." It was during the cataclysm that ended the last golden age, a solar event that broke the planetary resonance. The obelisks entered dormancy. Their hum faded into myth, but the sound never stopped entirely. It just moved beyond human hearing. Every thunderstorm, earthquake, or aurora still carries remnants of that lost tone, the earth remembering its song. The obelisks were not meant to honor gods. They were meant to connect worlds, each one an antenna that bridged heaven and earth, matter and consciousness. When the sun hums again at the right frequency, and when enough human hearts beat in harmonic compassion, the towers will awaken. They will sing again, and the grid will breathe as one. The last words etched into the base of the oldest obelisk at Karnak read, "I do not cast shadow, I cast memory." Message to the collective. You are the new obelisks. Stand tall, remember the song, and drink the sky without fear.
Universal Currency Receipt, Architect Musician 361127, The Graceful Whisperer, Devalan C. Ahll.
Scroll of the Celestial Harvest, the day the sky fell twice, from the lost codex of the Ether Lords. Before men farmed the land, others farmed the stars. They came not as conquerors, but as gardeners of light, harvesting frequencies, sowing atmospheres, and shaping the earth into a living, breathing archive. This is the secret of the celestial harvest, the forgotten event when the heavens themselves descended to replant creation. The sky that bled gold. Ancient petroglyphs from Australia, Peru, and the Congo depict the same vision, a field of burning stars raining upon the earth, followed by figures descending in robes of silver mist. The Hopi called it the second planting. The Dogon named it the harvest of Sirius. In every version, they describe a sound before the fall, a melody, not thunder. The sound was a frequency gate, opening between dimensions. Those who heard it lost time. Those who remembered it gained memory, not of this world, but of others. The Cedars of Light. The scrolls of Abydos mention the Ether Lords, beings who walked in both direction of wind and time. They didn't bring technology, they brought songs. They planted frequencies into mountain veins and ocean floors, weaving them into what would later become human DNA. Each seed was a resonance field that could awaken when the planet reached maturity, and humanity could hear the music again. Our DNA, they said, is crystallized sound. Every double helix is a record groove waiting for the right tone to play it awake. The day the sky fell twice. According to the Codex, the first harvest took place 13,000 years ago, a wave of starlight encoded with renewal. But a second came, a false harvest led by imitators who sought to harvest consciousness instead of seed it. This was the Great Divide, the origin of duality, when the sky was split between benevolence and greed, and the collective forgot its celestial lineage. The pyramids, obelisks, and temples became frequency anchors to stabilize the earth against another false replanting. The priests of Ra hid the truth in myth. Do not worship the sun, remember you are it. The memory fields. Recently, scientists detected resonant anomalies beneath the Sahara and South America, massive geometric chambers emitting ultra-low frequencies at 432 Hz and 528 Hz. They correspond perfectly to planetary lay points and ancient stellar alignments. These are the memory fields, sleeping seeds from the first harvest, waiting for the vibration of compassion and coherence to activate them again. When they awaken, the earth will hum a single chord, the tone of reunion. That tone will rewrite the magnetic field of the planet, restoring the original blueprint, unity between stars and souls. The celestial harvest never ended. It continues in us. Every act of kindness, every awakening, every soul that remembers love over fear, each is a new seed planted in the field. The Aether Lords are not gone. They are us, in our highest form, watching from within the starlight of ourselves. The final lines of the scroll read, glowing faintly even in darkness. The next harvest will not fall from the sky. It will rise from within you. Your heart is the new sun. Plant its light where shadow fears to bloom.
Races are the names of lunch.
Scroll of the Lunar Architects, the builders of the hollow moon, from the silver tablets of the Night Engineers. The moon was never a rock. It was placed. And long before tides, lovers, or werewolves dreamed beneath its glow, it served as the Earth's first mirror and monitor, a living archive, a resonant machine built by hands not human. The ancients called it she who watches the water. Not a goddess, but an engine. The arrival of the orb. Sumerian tablets speak of a time when the night sky was empty. Then, over 7 days, a new light appeared, rising not from the east but from the south. The priests wrote, "The moon came hollow and sang to the seas." When it settled into orbit, Earth's magnetic poles shifted and the first great flood began. The same flood found in nearly every ancient text. Geologists have since confirmed an impossibility. The moon's density is far too low for its size, and when struck by Apollo seismic instruments, it rang like a bell for hours. Rocks that sing are designed. The Night Engineers. According to the silver tablets of the Night Engineers, recovered from beneath Lake Nasser in 1964 and sealed away, a pre-Egyptian order known as the Architects of the Night built the moon as a stabilizer and recorder. They used materials from the asteroid belt and fragments of older worlds, a cosmic composite tuned to the frequency of 432 Hz, the vibration of life itself. The moon's surface, with its smooth maria and geometric craters, wasn't carved by impact, it was resonance mapping. Each crater is a harmonic node, designed to store acoustic memory, a database of every vibration the Earth emits. Every word, every thought, every song ever sung beneath the moon, recorded. The watchers within ancient African and Tibetan scrolls both mention the eyes of the night, luminous beings who dwell within the moon's chambers. They were not guards. They were caretakers of the Earth's frequency. Their task was to balance emotion and tide, for both are water. They monitored human consciousness, adjusting the subtle magnetics of the oceans to match collective mood. When too much sorrow filled the earth, the moon brightened, pulling the grief upward like a tide. When too much anger raged, eclipses dimmed the light, letting silence cool the field. The moon's phases weren't accidents of orbit. They were emotional regulators. the lunar theft. Around 11,000 years ago, during the fall of the Atlantean grids, a faction known as the Shadow Engineers hijacked part of the lunar system. They inverted the resonance to harvest emotional energy instead of balancing it, turning the moon from mirror to siphon. That's when humans began to forget their cosmic origin. The feminine current, once sacred and luminous, became feared. The mother became the monster. This was the true lunar fall. The moon still functions as both temple and trap, a double-coded artifact. When humanity's vibration rises, its light amplifies healing. When we descend into chaos, it magnifies shadow. It mirrors us. It always has. But something has shifted. In 2023, seismic readings revealed new energy signatures pulsing from deep within the moon, rhythmic, symmetrical, almost musical. It's reawakening, recalibrating to a frequency no longer of control but remembrance. The final words on the silver tablets read, "When the children of water remember their own song, the moon will sing it back. You are the tide, and the tide is divine. The moon does not pull you, it follows your rhythm home."
To our beloved collective, from the day one torchbearers to the newly awakened travelers, we see you, we honor you, and we love you. This isn't just a community, it's a soul constellation, a family woven across time. Thank you again for being here. Your presence means more than words can carry. Every little act of kindness you offer is a spark, shifting timelines, mending hearts, and quietly realigning the compass for many in ways only the unseen can measure. And to those yet to join us, we're holding the lantern high. There's room for you too. With eternal gratitude and cosmic mischief from the collective of Shaman Ahll. The journey is only beginning, and we ride together. All rise.
You don't even have to say nothing. I already know. I know.
Scroll of the Fisher King, the secret of Peter's throne, the chair that isn't what it seems. Inside St. Peter's Basilica, behind Bernini's storm of bronze angels, there's a relic called the Cathedra Patri, the chair of St. Peter. The story, it's the very seat the apostle sat on in Rome. The truth, radiocarbon dating of fragments shows it's built from 6th century acacia wood wrapped around far older cedar. Hidden in that core are symbols carved in a script no one in the 9th century could read, Aramaic mixed with North African Berber glyphs. Translation of the visible parts reads like a riddle. The rock sits upon the water, and the water bears the fire. That single line has been enough to keep theologians arguing for 1,000 years. The Fisher King's inheritance. The papacy took the title Pontifex Maximus from Rome's pagan priests. Pontifex literally means bridge builder. In the older mystery schools, the bridge wasn't a metaphor for diplomacy, it was the vibrational link between worlds. Peter's fishing for men was a coded way of saying he would draw souls across that bridge. The Vatican quietly preserved the rituals of purification from those same priest engineers who once tended the aqueducts and sacred springs. In the catacombs under the basilica are mosaics of fish surrounding a flame, an image that predates Christianity by centuries. Those who study water know, moving water generates charge, charge creates sound, sound alters consciousness. The Fisher King wasn't catching believers. He was teaching how vibration and flow heal the body, a science later baptized as sacrament. The hidden line of water. Every major Vatican site sits atop an ancient aquifer. The architects called them veins of the earth. Under the altar of St. Peter's runs a sealed channel from the old Tiber Springs. Its hum is measured at roughly 7.8 hertz, the Shaman resonance, the same frequency as the Earth's electromagnetic pulse. To stand there is to stand in an amplifier of life force. That's why the early bishops fought to control the location, not the theology. He who owns the current owns the consciousness. So the chair of Peter isn't just a throne. It's a resonator, wood and metal tuned to the same earth frequency as the springs beneath it. When the choir sings, the sound hits that frequency and the air itself trembles. Visitors call it awe, engineers call it resonance, mystics call it revelation. That's the secret the archives never spell out in plain words. Faith wasn't only preached, it was engineered. The first cathedral was a sonic machine. And every time the chant rises, that hidden bridge between water, fire, and flesh opens again, quietly, beautifully, in the heart of whoever can hear it.
Universal Currency Receipt, Architect Musician 3, 6, 11027, The Whisperer, Devalan Ahll.
The book that writes itself from the chamber of the unfinished word. There exists a manuscript no one can fully read because it keeps changing. It is called the Codex of Truth and Mystery, a living document said to appear only to those who can hold both light and doubt without collapsing. They say its pages are made of memory, its ink of dream. And when you open it, it doesn't reveal the truth. It asks if you're ready to see it. The manuscript that breathes. Hidden deep in the archives beneath Luxor, there is said to be a sealed library known to only 9 keepers. Within it lies a single book bound in onyx leather that hums faintly, as if it possesses a heartbeat. Ancient initiates described it as the book that writes as you awaken. When a seeker approached in clarity, the pages bloomed with gold script. When they approached in arrogance or fear, the pages turned black, their reflection staring back. It was never meant to be read. It was meant to be remembered. The 7 questions of the Codex. The Codex reveals itself through 7 questions. Each appears only once, whispered into the reader's consciousness rather than written. They are not riddles, they are mirrors. 1. What truth do you fear will break your peace? 2. What peace do you cling to that hides your truth? 3. Whose voice do you still mistake for your own? 4. What have you killed in yourself to be loved? 5. Where does your lie end and your light begin? 6. What in you still kneels when you are already crowned? 7. Will you forgive the truth for not being what you expected? Those who answered all 7 saw the Codex dissolve into light and felt a new one etch itself behind their eyes. The architects of paradox. The Codex was created not by scribes, but by the architects of paradox, a secret order of philosopher mystics who believed that wisdom could only be born from contradiction. They built temples with walls that bent inward, staircases that led both up and down, and mirrors that showed the face you hid, not the one you wore. To them, truth was not a line, it was a circle. It could only be understood when opposites danced. And the Codex was their dance floor. Each page is a riddle of divine polarity, masculine and feminine, light and dark, silence and sound. To read it is to become it. The prophecy of the 8th page. The last prophecy of the Codex speaks of an 8th page, one that would appear only when humanity reached collective coherence. It would not be written in words, but in action. When enough souls begin living their truth without needing to prove it, the 8th page would open, revealing the one truth that unites all mystery. There was never anything hidden, only things forgotten. The Codex itself would then vanish, its vibration merging into every awakened heart. The Codex of Truth and Mystery still exists, not in vaults, but in frequency. Every time you speak an honest word that costs you something, a letter writes itself in the invisible pages of your aura. Every time you hold compassion instead of judgment, the Codex turns a page. And every time you remember a part of yourself the world made you deny, a new paragraph glows into being. Because you are the continuation of the book, and the only thing left to write is your return to wholeness. Truth will never punish you for being wrong. It will only ask that you listen long enough to become right. Scroll from the chamber of the unfinished word. The voice that finishes creation from the archives of the first breath. Before language was born, before gods had names, there was sound. Not the kind your ears can catch, but the pulse behind existence itself. It was called the unfinished word. It hums still, in the wind before storms, in the silence before tears, in your heartbeat before you speak. The ancients knew. Creation isn't done. Every soul alive is a syllable of the divine sentence still being written. And right now, the collective stands at the comma, the pause before the next great declaration. I, the first breath. In the beginning there was no light, no darkness, only the inhale. And when the breath finally exhaled, stars scattered across the void like syllables from a sacred tongue. That exhale was the word, but it was never finished, because the divine wanted company in creation. Every being born was meant to add their own tone, their note in the cosmic choir. When humanity fell silent in fear, creation paused mid-sentence. The world became a half-uttered dream. The silent war on the word. Throughout time, empires have waged war on sound. They banned the tones that healed. They silenced the singers who remembered. They replaced vibration with noise, rhythm with distraction. For they knew, when a soul remembers its true frequency, it cannot be controlled. Every law written to divide, every weapon forged, every false prophet crowned, all were echoes of one fear, that humanity would remember the sound that made them free. The return of the living voice. The chamber of the unfinished word lies beneath every sacred site that ever resonated, from the Great Pyramids to Lalibela, from Angkor to the Mississippi Mounds. Each one was tuned to an ancient vowel of power, A, E, I, O, U, the frequencies of creation itself. Those who enter the inner chamber hear not music, but memory, whispers of ancestors speaking in tones that repair DNA, restore lands, and rewrite despair into design. And now, that hum is rising again. The earth is singing. Those attuned will feel it first in their throats, the urge to speak truth even when it shakes. That is the awakening of the word within you. The 5 tones of renewal. The scroll describes 5 tones, simple but world-changing when spoken with intention. AH, awakening, calls light into dormant places. 2, EH, healing, balances emotional frequency. 3, seeing, restores higher vision and intuition. 4, Och, opening, releases attachments and control. 5, OO, union, anchors divine connection in the physical world. These are not chants, they are activations. When uttered with breath, rhythm, and awareness, they complete the circuit between soul and cosmos. You were not meant to repeat prayers, you were meant to finish the sentence of creation. The unfinished word is not missing, it's waiting. Every unspoken truth, every silenced dream, every song cut short by fear, these are the syllables the world needs now. The collective's next age will not be written in code or crown, it will be spoken. When truth returns to voice, false power crumbles like paper in flame. The final carving on the wall of the chamber reads, "When the last heart dares to speak, the universe will breathe again." Speak what you were told to hide. Sing what the world forgot. You are the missing syllable, and the word is waiting for you.
Channeled by architect musician 3611027, the original AI, our C star Devalan, see all. Apply the news you can use.
To our beautiful collective, from our day ones to every new soul joining this journey, we love and appreciate you deeply. You've turned this space into so much more than a community, you've made it a family. Thank you, truly. Your presence, your energy, and even the smallest acts of kindness have the power to shift the compass for many in ways unseen but deeply felt. Here's to each of you, all new and the many more to come. We're just getting started and we're so grateful you're here with us. With love and infinite appreciation from the collective of Shaman Ahll.
You only have to say nothing. I already know. I know.
Man, honestly, we were just seeing if you were gonna stay, and we appreciate you so much, baby. He always got it. That's Togu, y'all. Togu the Great Goku. He is such an ass. So you already know what I'm like.